This is a quick movie just showing you how to align a dual view from Photometrics. The first thing to do is to have a look at what comes in the box. Well, obviously we have the dual view unit itself. We have a cube which I've mounted here, but obviously we can actually take this out and have a quick look and see we have a dichroic and we have emission filters that fit into there. Let's just put that back into place and we'll put it out into bypass mode. That actually comes in a white box such as this. That's just for safety and for packing, and you can have a number of different dual view units and dual view cubes. We have a calibration slide. This is used to do the final alignment, the last step, which you're probably going to do as a repeat, probably before every experiment or every kind of weekly setup. And then you have the document to tell you how to go through it, so all the instructions. We also have these two Allen keys. These are used to make adjustments around the scope as we go around like this. And also we have this thumb screw Allen key, which is a much nicer, much smaller unit, which allows me to go around. It's a lot easier to work with on an inverted microscope. So the alignment goes into 4 sections, and the first 3 sections only need to be done really once, or if you disassemble your microscope and reassemble it, you need to do them again. And the final section is the final alignment, which is really the one you're probably going to want to do maybe every experiment or every so often. Okay, it's just a very small amount of alignment depending on what you're trying to do. The main alignment, really, as I say, first step is make sure the camera is aligned and then locking it here, which is pretty straightforward. We can just come in here and we can just move the camera around, make sure it's straight and lock it in place. The next alignment is actually more of an alignment of some masks that we have, which will stop out of focus or any stray light hitting around the edge of the sensor, anything bouncing around inside the system. And for this, we actually have these little screws all the way around the bottom. We have these 4 little bumps around the edge of the dual view, and we have 2 screws for each one. And the aim here is simply to walk the aperture blades so they're just out of the field of view. In fact, if I just bring this one in here, and you can just see I'm just moving the last blade just out of the field of view there, and that's perfect. Now, after that, we actually want to move and do the third layer of alignment. The third layer of alignment is actually to make sure that our apertures are correct and the field of view is correctly set up. And to do that, we first of all move it into dual view mode. And in this case, we have got screws again on these little black bumps here, but they're only at the top. 2 at the top here and 2 at the top over here. And these we're going to move in and out. And what we're trying to achieve here is we're trying to achieve basically 1/4 of a field of view, half a field of view, and 1/4 of a field of view. And there are a number of little applications and programs that will actually have specific things to do this, but you may want to draw a couple of lines on the image or perhaps a box around the area where you know your half of a field of view should sit actually in the middle. But again, I can just show you, I'm just going to move and make that the final tweak to make sure that that fits in nicely there. Okay, the last thing to do before we go to a fine alignment is actually to click into dual view mode, and we can see there's a line in the middle, and I actually put the Allen key down at this point. Done with the Allen key now, and I can use my left and right here on either side, and I'm just going to move so that I have a line matched up in the middle. And again, if you draw a nice line on the image, maybe a line profile or an annotation, that's good, and that allows us to line it up in the middle, just like that. Okay, the final stage is actually a fine alignment, and this is actually where we use the grid as we've got in place now, and actually on the grid we're trying to match up and make sure that the 2 things are on top of each other, the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the sensor. So to do this, you need some software that's going to allow you to do that. We're going to use Micromanager, but there are other packages that have this all built in as well. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to put it into a mode called Split View. Now, split view is a nice thing because it actually shows me the 2 patterns of the grid, and my job is pretty simple from here. I'm now going to move the knobs around and actually just watch it update until I'm actually overlaying on top of each other. Now that's done, that's pretty much suitable unless anyone comes up and knocks any of these knobs. That's pretty much done until you need to realign for your own safety later on. But other than that, the 3 alignment steps to start with, the camera, the aperture blades here, and again the further aperture blades at the top here, they're done once the unit's installed. The only things you want to do in future is the fine alignment. Okay, we hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please contact your local dealer or sales office. Thanks.